Take it over.
All right. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Kendal at Lexington Resident Speaker Panel Series via Zoom. I'm Kevin Cavanaugh, host of today's session on fitness and sports activities. In this Zoom event, we'll hear from a panel of residents about opportunities to participate in fitness activities and sports. We'll also hear from the managers of Kendal Fitness Center and learn about their areas of expertise and the types of equipment and programs available for residents. And we'll hear from Kendal's marketing director, Jessica Bueller, who you've just met, on how the fitness center facilities weigh in on prospective residents' decision to choose Kendal at Lexington. As always, we'll leave time at the end for questions from our audience. Now, you can also pose questions during today's session by typing them into the chat function near the bottom of your screen. Just type in your anytime and we'll get to them later and try to answer as many of them as we can. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about our first panelist. Alice Carell moved to Kendal at Lexington in June of last year and lived in Lexington for 35 years before that. She brought with her a love of pickleball and is currently treasurer of the Rockbridge Pickleball Club. Alice, thank you for joining our panel.
I wore the colors today, Rockbridge Pickleball Club. Pickleball was I've been playing here since 2013. Pickleball was a little bit slow getting going, but it's picked up a lot of speed. We have, there are two groups here that play at Kendal, or from Kendal. I'm in the older meaning we've been in existence since 2013. And then some Kendal residents here have a smaller group that play at the country club. We play, which is about 2 miles away. We play indoors at an old high school gym in Natural Bridge, about 15 miles away. But pickleball, there are also two public courts here in Lexington too. But I've played pickleball. It's a wonderful sport. We're a very social group. We have a couple parties a year. And pickleball is just a good game to lend for singletons. You don't need a sub. You don't need a partner. You just walk on and play with anybody who's there, and all different skill levels as well. So one of our members teaches a class in beginner pickleball with the local recreation organization, and she does that 2 or 3 times a year. So if you want to learn pickleball, they have a class that runs, I think, once a week for 4 weeks, several times. So we can direct you to that. But it's just a great sport, and I've been playing about 10 years. It doesn't mean I'm good. It just means I'm persistent. So, but come join us.
Alice, for somebody who's never played pickleball or even seen pickleball being played, can you kind of describe how it works and just how to paint a picture in people's mind about what pickleball looks like?
The court is a little over half the size of a tennis court, so there's less ground to cover, less distance to run. And it's sort of like playing ping pong on a tennis court. We have a paddle. There's not a racket. There are no strings involved in it, and the ball is a hard plastic wiffle type ball. So it's less motion than tennis, but maybe a little bit faster. As you learn to play, some of the rallies are a little bit faster, but you don't have to run.
All right, Alice, thank you very much. We may come back to you in a little while when we find out if there's any other fitness activities or sports activities that you're interested in. But let's move on to our next panelists. Bob and Suetta Harrison moved to Kendal at Lexington in September of 2019 from Crozet, Virginia. As an active couple, they have some fitness activities they like to do together, and each has some individual fitness activities too. Suetta, let's start with you. Tell us about the primary sports or fitness activities that you like to participate in. Did we lose Suetta? How about Bob?
She's unmuted. She's unmuted.
Try that now. Is that better?
There we go.
Hey, there they are.
You're unmuted. Okay. Suetta, your turn. Tell us about the things you like to do for fitness.
Okay, there's so many things available, so many activities at our fitness center. I do the strength and stretch almost daily class, and also do Pilates, which is so good for us as we get older to make ourselves stand up straighter and keep our head up instead of hunching over, which naturally happens as you age. Those two classes, I'd like to say, are extremely good for getting to know everyone, because I think probably over half of our residents participate in the fitness center, and we always have chats beforehand and talk afterwards. And sometimes Pilates, we may say 5 or 10 minutes after the class, and you're on first name basis with everyone in the class. We also play a little pickleball, but my main love is swimming. And we'll go down, the two of us will go down and work out in the weight room some, and then get in the pool. And it's just so relaxing and really good for you too. Our two heads of the department, Kristen and Victoria, are excellent in leading us and helping out at all different levels of fitness in our classes. So you could be a beginner or advanced, and you're challenged.
Excellent. Thank you, Suetta. Bob, in addition to the things that Suetta told us about, what fitness and or sports activities do you participate in?
Yeah, well, I guess the biggest other one, which we both do almost all the time together, is walking in the local area. We were not residents of Lexington and didn't know Lexington that well. So we have, I guess if I were to add it up, 8 to 10 different routes that we take depending on the temperature, how windy it is, whether it's sunny or whatever. And the beauty of it is we're within less than a mile of being downtown Lexington. So we love Woods Creek that takes you through the two campuses of VMI and Washington Lee. Chessie Trail, which was recently ranked one of the top 10 walking trails in the country, is about a mile from us, and it is a total of 7 miles. Yes, one time we've done the entire route. The complication is you have to have 2 cars, one at one end and one at the other, because we don't want to do 14 miles. I guess the other thing we love to do is just walk the local neighborhoods around here, because there's so many beautiful homes, historic homes, large homes, small homes, and we have this great game where we send, I wonder who lives here. The other thing I probably do, which is not the smartest thing, is we've always enjoyed taking care of our own yards. And so I think I'm the only one foolish enough to do I cut my grass myself. They have a great team here that manages our landscaping, and we continually have a little debate with them. They say, my greatest compliment was, they said, "Bob, would you stop doing such a good job? Because everybody wonders who cuts your yard." But anyway, we stay very active. And of course, one of the biggest things advertised, other than our genes, is physical activity, intellectual activity, social activity, how we sleep, what we eat. So there's lots of options for doing all those things very well here.
All right, Bob and Suetta, thank you very much. Well, our next panelist is John South, who moved to Kendal, Lexington with his late wife, Martha, in February of 2013 from Longmont, Colorado. John, thanks for joining our panel. And if you would please tell us about the primary sports or fitness activities that you participate in.
Sure. I also do some of the things that Bob just mentioned. I like to walk around the campus. I like to drop in the fitness center. I'm not as regular as they are, but there are a number of activities that I do from time to time, including pickleball, ping pong. But my main activity is golf. I'm a lifelong golfer, and I caught that disease from my father, and playing it for more years than I want to say. And we have a wonderful golf course here, Lexington Golf and Country Club. It's pretty, it's hilly. I used to walk at 100%, now I ride, but they also have a pool, and they have tennis courts which I don't use. And I could go on and on about the golf course. I'll be happy to tell you more about that at the end of the session. If you're interested, just ask a question then.
John, I know that you are not the only golfer here at Kendal Lexington. And from what I understand, it's a pretty friendly, welcoming group. If somebody joins the community and want to play golf, they'll have.
Yes, there are. One of the pluses of being going to the golf club here, there are, over the years, there have been about a dozen Lexington folks, both genders, play golf at the Lexington Golf and Country Club. But in addition to that, it's a wonderful place to meet the local people. And so I made a lot of friends that I would not have met had I not punished myself by betting against them on the golf course. And they have a restaurant. It's a very nice place to make social connections.
All right. Thank you, John. Our next panelist is Bruce Dwyer. Bruce and his wife, Linda, moved to Kendal at Lexington from Alexandria, Virginia in February of 2020. Bruce, tell us about your primary sports or fitness activities.
I'll begin by saying I endorse all the previous kudos for the ability to hike and walk in the area. It's amazing. It's just endless. And if you want to get in your car and go a little further, there's many trails, some of which are flat along the rivers and some of which are hilly or more challenging. My major passion is bicycling, which I've done since I was about 4 years old. And I'm still doing it quite vigorously. When we moved down here, I was aware that it was very hilly, but I'd forgotten how hilly it was if you're going to bike every day. So I ended up getting an electric assist bicycle, which helps a lot in getting up and down the hills. But I did go out and do 20 miles yesterday on my old road bike just to make sure I could still do it. I'm also a big football fan, as you might be able to see, and it's fun to have a team that's good. So we watched them as well as several other ones on TV, and you'll hear more from somebody else a little bit further along about football. But at this point, I can claim a pretty good team, even though we lost in the NCAA tournament there. I'm fortunate that my wife also loves sports. So, I mean, we just watch a lot of sports. We used to watch the Nationals all the time when they were still good, but it's a little harder to swallow them now. And we also would like to talk a little bit about the availability of the spectator sports, the college sports in town, because there's two universities here, VMI, which competes in different divisions depending upon what sport it is. And there's WNL, which I think is pretty much all Division III. But that doesn't mean the sports are any less interesting to follow. And we've been blessed with Washington Lee having their soccer team advance quite far in the last 2 years in the NCAA tournament, thanks much to Jessica's husband, the coach. So, and we can walk from here to the game, and it's like maybe a mile or a little more than a mile to get there, and you can go on the Woods Creek Trail that Bob and Suetta talked about a minute ago. So, I mean, there's just tons of time and opportunities to do anything. And then the last thing I just like to do a lot of physical stuff. So there's a neighborhood property that's run by Rockbridge Conservation, which is a preserve. And I put together a little team of Kendal people and Rockbridge Conservation people to build a 2-mile trail network in there that it's right adjacent to the Kendal property. So Kendal has trails on his property as well as this additional 2 miles just right next door. So if you don't want to get in your car, you don't want to walk on streets at all, all you got to do is go out your back door and you can get on a trail right here.
That's great. Bruce, thank you very much.
Yep.
Our next panelist is Bob Kramer. Bob and his wife, Linda, moved to Kendal at Lexington from the Maryland Eastern Shore in April of 2020. Now, Bob, I've seen you in the workout room of our fitness center, and I welcome your comments on that. but you are also known here as Kendal's #1 most enthusiastic Virginia Tech sports fan. So tell us about how you enjoy sports as a spectator and a fan and a participant.
Thank you very much for that intro there, Kevin. I've been a sports fan from the earliest days. I played sports, I watched sports, and I chose my teams accordingly. The first team I actually chose was the Green Bay Packers when I lived down in Birmingham. And believe it or not, I actually own one share of Green Bay Packers stock. Go Packers. As you may know from the introduction, I'm a product of Virginia Tech. I was a member of the Corps of Cadets, played varsity baseball, graduated in '67. I was in the Army from '67 to '69, and I really embraced the Virginia Tech motto, Ut Prosum, that I may serve. Well, I always wear Virginia Tech on my heart. This is Hokey Bird right here, if you can see it. Most of the folks around here see me wearing my VT on my head as I wander around Kendal, whether working out at the fitness center each morning. Thank you, Victoria and Kristen, and on my daily strolls around our beautiful campus. And trust me, like what Bob and Suetta and Bruce said, we've got a lot of wonderful things around here, or places to walk. I've been going to Virginia Tech football games since 1963. Most of those games have been in Blacksburg. And this is just an approximation, but I'm 88.6 miles from my parking spot at Lane Stadium. Just being on campus reminds me of all the Hokies who are my brothers and sisters. And, you know, once you're a Hokie, you're always a Hokie. And even if you only come to one game, college football is a tribal thing now, and there's a lot of good to that, but there's a lot of bad to it. I like being with 65,000 of my best friends on Saturdays in Blacksburg, singing the national anthem, cheering the flyovers on Military Appreciation Day, knowing that most of the crew on those vehicles or planes or helicopters are Hokies, and then jumping and singing Enter Sandman when the team runs out on the field. It's an experience, and believe me, I don't sing much. I don't even sing Happy Birthday, but I sing Enter Sandman there. And what I found out early on is it was also rewarding to go to away games. And I counted up for this thing. I've been to 40 cities, different cities, to watch Virginia Tech play. My first away game was in 1963 in Raleigh, North Carolina. My last, look who's smiling, Mr. Wolfpack. My last away game was this past season, again down in Raleigh, and the results were both the same. We lost. Anyway, it's nice to be around the other fans on their own turf. You learn a lot of things, mostly good stories, unless you happen to go to Morgantown and wearing orange and maroon there. But fans are fans everywhere there. And one of the most eventful happenings at a Virginia Tech football game was actually at a game that never happened. It was a night game in Blacksburg versus Georgia Tech. It's on ESPN, and Lee Corso, their famous announcer on the pregame, predicted Georgia Tech would win. Okay, also in the prediction was heavy rain and thunderstorms and lightning in the area. Well, Georgia Tech was kicking off. The kicker ran up towards the ball, and when he was about to kick it, lightning struck, a massive strike in the parking lot right behind the parking lot. Well, finally, after an hour, they called the game. I'm listening to the post game on radio, and Lee Corso saying, "God must be a Hokie. I should have picked Virginia Tech because that lightning struck my rental car and totaled it." So that shows you, besides the leaves being orange and maroon, there's a lot to be said about Hokie and the spiritual thing. In any case, it's really interesting because around here, before I forget it, a paid commercial. Virginia Tech welcomes all fans. If you move to Kendal, you can be a Virginia Tech fan. You can be a UVA fan if you move here because they need more fans than we do. But anyway, it's a really great place to be active. Bruce said it all. Washington and Lee got a great Division III program, VMI. A lot of the games are free and you can walk there and walk back. Anyway, it's great to be a spectator and fan, but it's even better to be a resident of Kendal.
Bob, thank you very much. And by the way, I too am a shareholder of the Green Bay Packers, having been born and raised in Wisconsin. Well, I am going to come back around and ask if any of our resident panelists have thought of other things they want to add in. But before we do that, I want to make sure that I save some time for the managers of our fitness centers. So I'm going to call on them next. In 2008, Kendal at Lexington built a state-of-the-art fitness center with a well-equipped weight room, workout room, a large multi-purpose classroom, a shower changing room, and a 50-foot-long indoor heated swimming pool. There are 2 full-time trainers who manage that fitness center. Victoria Foreman, the fitness program manager, joined the Kendal Lexington staff in July of 2017. Kristen McCabe, the wellness program manager, also started in July of 2017, which is pretty amazing. I don't think they knew each other before they were teamed up here at Kendal. Kristen and Victoria have been an amazing and highly appreciated team. Our residents love them. So I'm going to ask them to speak about their role. And Victoria, would you go first, please, and tell us about your particular areas of specialty and your role in helping our residents with their use of the fitness center and their overall fitness and wellness.
Okay. So my background is in strength and conditioning. So the busiest class that I teach here is a class called Strength and Stretch, and I teach that 5 days a week. That's going to give you an overall full body workout and get you stretched out at the end so you can go about your day. I also teach balance classes to try to keep everybody upright. And the class that I probably enjoy the most actually is my aqua aerobics class. And we joke and call this class Aqua Okie, which means aqua karaoke, because we play a lot of fun songs in that class and we just kind of sing along and dance along as we get our workout in. So I have a lot of fun with that. I also help as residents move in or at any time if their goals change to help set up an exercise program for them in the weight room. You know, we can look at strength training, we can look at cardio programs. And we also have a great relationship with physical therapy that we have right here at Kendal. And so we're able to also kind of help in that way. If people have setbacks, they're able to see therapy and then they're able to transition back to us into you know, a new exercise program.
Thank you, Victoria. Kristen, how about you? Tell us about your particular areas of specialty and your role in helping our residents with the use of the fitness center and their overall fitness and wellness.
Sure. So I mostly teach the classes that we would consider the mind-body classes. So yoga, Pilates. I do teach some seated strength and stretch classes, and I do teach out of the pool as well. But I would say my passion is the ones that we focus on breath and movement and stress relief and build strength and flexibility all at the same time. So those are my specialty. I'm an athletic trainer by degree. So I've been at this a long time, been teaching a long time, and I absolutely love it. And I love the people that we teach here. They're amazing. Always up for any challenge. We just enjoy helping them with their goals, whatever they may be. If it's a physical goal, great. If it's stress relief, we're happy to help. So we try to take some of what we do here in the fitness center outside of the walls of the fitness center. We organize field trips, hikes. It could be to apple picking in the fall. We organize in the spring or when weather is permitting, we'll play it as long as we can, wiffle ball. If there is something that you want to bring here, we are always on board with trying to make that happen. We've had residents introduce chair volleyball. It's very active. We'd expand that to 2 days a week. Someone mentioned taking volleyball into the pool. We ordered the net. We're working with a group right now to get boxing here. So we've ordered a punching bag and we're working how to get that installed. So if there is something that we don't offer, we are all ears and we want to bring it to you. So.
Thank you, Kristen. Could one of you, either Kristen or Victoria, tell us about the equipment in that workout room? Because it's some pretty fancy stuff. You got a lot of equipment in there.
Yeah, so our equipment is by a company called Kaiser, and it's really high end, top of the line. When I interviewed for this job, I was shocked to see the equipment. When my husband worked at Stanford years ago with the sports in the athletic department, they were installing Kaiser equipment. And so when I came here and saw we have the same thing as Stanford University, I thought, well, that's pretty good. The equipment is air compressurized, so you're not dealing with weight stacks where you're having to change the pin. So you're not going to pinch your finger. You're not having to change your weight in large increments. It's all through buttons that change the resistance for you. And there's plenty of resistance. So this is not, it's not like it's just set at like an easy air pressure. You can, on the leg press machine, you can actually increase it to an amount that would be equal to doing 500 pounds. So there's, and you can also take it down as low as you can take it down to 0 pounds. So it's really allows for all levels to use these machines. So we've been very happy with them.
That's great. And I know that, Kristen, you mentioned that you sometimes take fitness outside the fitness center. You two have organized various hikes, and don't you at least once a year do a hike downtown to the farmers market?
Yes, we do. That's always just a lovely walk, and how great that we can purchase locally grown and sourced products and then take them back. And we usually build in time to stop at the coffee shop if you want. It's fantastic to have that ability to do it on a safe trail too. Yeah.
And let's see, the two of you were also responsible for the Kendal Olympics that happened out on the center court here a summer or two ago.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. We had great involvement, and the enthusiasm kind of built. We had games going on for the whole week, and so that was really a lot of fun. The wiffle ball, like Kristen mentioned, that we've done other times as well. We had a whole tournament of cornhole going that we even got staff involved in. We had our chair volleyball. We had a whole tournament of chair volleyball. We had croquet.
I want to say that my team was the gold medal winner.
Oh, and we had a pool relay. Suetta led pool relays for us for the Olympics as well. So that was really, really lovely.
Thank you both very much.
I'd like to jump in just for a moment and add that there's a piece of equipment that you won't find in every place, and that's basically a competition grade rowing ergometer, which is the device that the guys that are out rowing their sculls on the river and everything, that's what they train on, and we have one of those, and it's a first-class operation.
We also just upgraded one of our bikes this year and got a really awesome bike that has classes on it. So it has a screen that allows you to follow along with classes or with bike rides all over the world. So you can search a location, or you can find an instructor that you like, and you can do their rides along beaches, through mountains. Really, there's just thousands and thousands of options on this bike. And if you don't like any of that, you can do a normal ride. But it's that's been a lot of fun for people to kind of explore.
And Victoria and Kristen, what about as folks' mobility changes or their fitness level changes over time? What are things that you help residents with?
Yeah, so we modify our programs. I offer 3 different styles of yoga. And I've had many folks transition from your traditional mat flow class to seated chair yoga. And actually, that's a well-attended and an underappreciated class. It's just a great stress relief, great stretch and movement. We also take yoga into the pool, so we can challenge balance in a really safe way. And we do that with all of our classes, our strength and stretch classes. So if modifications are needed, we can do that.
And let me just add, when my wife moved here, she had mobility problems, and they have a chair that allows you to get into the pool even if you are wheelchair bound, and she used that a lot.
Thank you, John. All right, before we go to questions from the audience, I would like to call on Jessica. Jessica Buehler, the Director of Marketing here at Kendal. Jessica, you've been in charge of selling Kendal at Lexington for the last 8.5 years. I know people choose to move here for many reasons, but if you would tell us from your perspective how the fitness center facilities weigh in on prospective residents' decision to choose Kendal at Lexington.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin. And thank you for our panelists and especially all our participants here interested in this topic. You know, marketing is wanting to do this panel in sports and fitness just because what Kevin said, you know, a lot of our prospective residents, folks that are looking at Kendal at Lexington, wellness and staying active is very important to them. And like panelists were saying, you're moving to a community like Kendal at Lexington to stay active intellectually, socially, and physically. But that physical piece is very important. And I just love how people are attracted to the many different variety of options we have here, from the fitness center and the pool, which is an amazing center, to just the hiking trails and walking, and then also participating in the greater community. So it's a perfect mix of being able to stay active here. I know Katie and Kevin tour the fitness center, and every time new folks come, it's always very important. And some folks participate even if they come and stay here for a couple of days. So in addition to this panel on our website, we tend to post a lot of stories about activities that residents are involved in. So we do have, John has a whole article about his golfing, if you want to know more about golf. Bruce, I believe, is in a hiking one. Suetta, we have testimonials of Bob and Suetta. They're talking about using the fitness center and swimming. So we did an article recently with Alice on pickleball. So it's, we're always highlighting activities here. We find that folks are attracted to the property because of that, but also because there's residents here that are so active too. So all together, everyone keeps encouraging each other to stay fit.
It is a very active community, and I know that the fitness center folks do I think a once a year assessment for it's a volunteer thing, nobody has to do it, but for residents who want to kind of assess their abilities and how they've changed over the past year. Could Kristen or Victoria, could one of you touch on that for a moment?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so we offer fitness testing once a year, and more often if somebody needs it. We've had people move in before that want to just see kind of where they're at, but typically it's the once a year. And at that time, you know, we're able to look at past results for that resident to kind of see any changes in their abilities. That allows us to, you know, make recommendations for different exercises to keep them active. You know, our primary goal here is to keep, you know, our residents independent as long as possible. And so that's one of the tools that we use so that we can see where you're at. It looks at your strength levels, it looks at your mobility, it looks at your balance. So we're looking at a lot of different things there. And again, that allows us to kind of help you decide what to do next to keep you active.
And I would just add that when we did this last year, we had, I don't know, 80 of our residents participate, and the results were fantastic. They actually scored really, really well. And so that made us very happy because we also use it as a tool to assess what we're doing. So if we saw a sharp decline in a lot of our folks, then we would want to look at how we're programming and make those changes. So we were very, very pleased, certainly pleased for the residents, but it was great results.
The classroom where the two of you teach classes Monday through Friday has another use on the weekends that somebody asked me to mention. A ping pong table gets rolled out into that room Friday afternoon and stays up for the weekend. Anybody want to comment on that? Any of our panelists who are ping pong participants?
Yeah, Suetta and I occasionally go down there, especially when the weather's bad. But one of the deals we have is we do not keep score. One of us is a little more competitive than the other, and the non-competitive one usually wins.
I would like to add something, not there, but with our two fitness instructors. I would like to say that they know each of us individually. And they know our weaknesses, they know our strengths. If you walk in and they see your face not smiling, they may ask you if there's a concern. They're into our lives. They're not just two girls leading the exercises. And I think that is a huge gift to each of us.
Thank you, Suetta. Other resident panelists, anything that, as you've heard others speak, that jumped into your mind that you wanted to share with the group?
I'm not sure I mentioned that in Natural Bridge, we have 4 indoor pickleball courts, so we can play around the, year round, wind, rain, storms, anything. I think that's probably the only place that's indoor pickleballs available.
Yes, and Alice, I think when I was interviewing you for an article that we did on that, you told me that because there's 4 courts, you can actually have, is it 16?
16. It's always, we play doubles, so 16 people can play at one time. Our group on a very small occasions is as many as 30 players, but we have a rotation system that works really well. So you're not standing, not waiting, hardly any time, and you get to play with half the people there. So
That's great.
It's a nice rotation system to keep it moving. And Victoria's class also keeps it moving too. It's kept me moving. I go several times a week to that just to get lubricated.
Speaking of lubrication, I'd like to add another activity that is very popular, and Bob Kramer and I are avid fans of craft beer, and the Shenandoah Valley has an absolute plethora of craft beer operations that are really good. So, I mean, they have a beer trail. You can, if you go out and get your card punched, you can end up getting a t-shirt, but it's a great opportunity to socialize with the locals as well. And several of them are outside, so they got beautiful views, and the beer is really good. And there's a couple right downtown that you can even walk to. So,
and that's why you have to bike so much, because to implement your beer. Perfect retirement here.
I know the questions coming through the chat. Somebody asked about any outdoor swimming pools in the community. Anybody that can comment on that?
And Kevin, you're breaking up a little bit. I'm not sure if it's just me. I'll repeat that. Someone asked a question about outdoor swimming pools. John had responded that the country club has one and the city of Lexington also has one. Does anyone participate in swimming in any of the outdoor pools? Suetta, you want to talk a little bit about that?
I swam in the country club pool, which I think is a 50-meter pool, quite long, and it's outdoors. It's absolutely beautiful. You feel like you've have a little bit of heaven as you look around while you're swimming. It's a real treat.
Thank you, Suetta. Do any of the other panelists have anything they wanted to chime in on, things they forgot to say earlier? If not, let's move on and see if any of the folks who have Zoomed in today have questions for our panelists or for our fitness center managers.
If you have a question, you could just raise your hand and we'll see you in the video, or type it into the chat. I saw a question about horses and the Virginia Horse Center, and we were thinking about having we have many residents who own horses or ride here, but we did not invite them onto this panel now. Does any of our current panelists have any information on that? If not, we have some articles and we can connect you with folks that ride here and participate. Any burning questions? Okay, wow, we'll get off this one a little early then. Kevin? Uh-oh, we're losing you.
The Rockbridge Area Recreational Organization, they have a pickleball program in town, in addition to the other pickleball programs that we've talked about. Anything else?
Kevin, did you mention your sound is going in and out a little bit, but someone asked that you said rowing on a river. I don't remember you saying that, but there is a lot of kayaking on the Maury River here. Any of our panelists do any boating or kayaking?
I do know that there is a lot of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that somebody's just applied for a license to operate a venue at Jordan's Point, which is on the Maury River, and they're trying to partner with somebody that might be 7 miles down the river in Buena Vista, so you could get shuttles back and forth. I'm not quite sure of where that stands, but it's in the works.
Great. Kristen?
Yeah, there are also opportunities to kayak on the James River as well. So that's right here too. And it's beautiful. So it's mostly just public launches. So you do have to sort of set it up so that your car is at the end that you want it to be at. But yeah, we do have more than one option here for kayak.
Hi, I'm Katie Hall. I'm one of the marketing associates here. Another wonderful place for kayaking and canoeing and things like that is a small lake about 25 minutes out of town called Lake Robertson. So that's also, if it's not a place that you wanted to start, but you don't know where to finish and things like that, that's a wonderful opportunity too, with great hiking trails, a pool, just a great little recreational park that's very quiet, not very many people use it.
That's a state park, and with picnicking and trails, I think, and all that. So
it's pretty. Katie lives next door, so it's pretty much her second property. So
I was surprised that Katie brought it up. I didn't think.
I know, that's Kevin and I are like, what? She's sharing the secret? Okay.
If there aren't any other questions, we will wrap up today's Zoom session from Kendal at Lexington on fitness and sports activities. Thanks to all of you for attending and participating. Kendal at Lexington is open for tours and try-it visits. So if you'd like to learn more about scheduling a tour or an overnight visit, contact either Katie Hall or myself in the marketing department here at Kendal. Stay safe, and we hope to see you here someday soon. Kendal at Lexington.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.